mode in respect to the decorum of the meeting. Now I'll ask everyone to please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Sir.
Just real quick, we had a request from Mr. Davis, Fire Department, and Mary Little from the ambulance, just to have 5 minutes of our time.
Sure, okay.
Make an announcement.
So you want to do that right now, or?
Whenever.
Okay, all right.
Move them.
I'll turn to the board. Some information coming forward from the fire department. Does anybody have any issue if we were to take care of that at this time?
No.
Okay, very good. So, Mr. Davis, I invite you up. Oh, and Ms. Little. We have the two houses represented here. This is impressive. All right.
Couple little updates for you. About 2 months ago, I think you all are aware that the fire department and the ambulance department had started the talks on a merger. Since then, things have went very well. We had a meeting with over 100 members from each organization attended, and they voted unanimously to continue with the merging process. Since then, both departments, our attorneys have been together. They are working on all the legal aspects, and we hope to have all the I's dotted and T's crossed by January 1st, so when the official merger should take effect. But since Saturday, the overall operations have come together and been moved to the West Main Street station. So both fire and ambulance is running out of the fire station. And we just think that's a little more effective, because that was one of the big things that they asked us. We said, what can we do to help right now? And they said, can you help us get the ambulances out? And we felt that that was the best way to do that from the one station. And we're very pleased to tell you the most important thing, that since these mergers have started, we have not failed on a single response for the ambulance. So every call has been answered. And that was our main goal, and that was Mary Lou's main goal when she came to us. She said, we're doing this because it's what's best for the community, and we couldn't agree with her more. So we're just happy to tell you from the fire side, it's going seamless. There has not been any problems or issues that we haven't been able to resolve, and it's just moving full steam ahead, and we're just tickled to death for that. So it's all yours.
Just to add to it, that it's a lot better because it's our plan, our idea. We're not being thrown together, forced together, or anything like that. And we're very proud of that.
Oh, good.
Very proud of that.
Any questions from the board?
May I?
Yes.
Can you both state your name and which agency you represent for our record?
I'm Mary Lou Little, president of the Emmitsburg Volunteer Ambulance Company.
And I'm Frank Davis, president of the Vigilant Hose Company.
Thank you.
I do have a question for the staff, for them. I know the fire company is underneath the solar electric, correct? But the ambulance is not. Since they're combining, it'd be nice to get them both under, that'll save electric costs down at the other building also.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be.
If we can get them on that.
That would be.
I don't know if we have any room yet, but.
Yes, that's something that we would be interested in working with them on.
Great. Okay. Any other questions or follow-ups? No?
Thank you.
Okay, so if there's anything we can do to stay out of your way, let us know. I don't know if I'm speaking for the board, but based on meeting the immediate needs of the community, thank you. As there's a lot of logic to what you're doing, and I'm sure it has not been it's not been an easy decision, but rather a difficult one. But we are greatly appreciative of all that you do, and bringing both the houses together is a difficult thing, so thank you. We appreciate it.
And we'll keep you updated every couple months. We won't need to come every month, but we'll keep you updated as things progress.
And since you're both here, we want to thank you for helping with the community today also. You
you're
guys,
welcome.
you help with, because of the heat, you had water there for the kids and
Yeah.
everything, so,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so we turn back to the regular pattern. So for our future meetings coming forward, the Citizens Advisory Committee will meet on July 18th at 7:30 p.m. here. The Planning Commission will meet on July 24th at 7:30 p.m. here in the Community Building. The Town Council will next meet on August 7th at 7:30 p.m. Again here in the Community Building. So, any other announcements for meetings?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Mr. Sweeney.
I'm trying to think of the date, the 17th. On Monday, the 17th, we're having a hot shot for the community day on all the good things and bad things that happen.
Okay.
Most of them were all good. I haven't heard too many bad, but
And where?
it'll be at the Legion at 7 p.m.
Okay.
American Legion.
Okay, and the 17th of July, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Is that something you want posted on Channel 99 or on the town website?
If anybody would like to come, it's open to the public.
Okay,
If it can be posted, that would be nice.
great. Okay, so if we could ask town staff for that, that would be appreciated.
If
Okay,
we get some comments on what people like, what they didn't like.
sure, okay. Would you want emails? Would that be okay also?
Yeah, that'd be
or-
fine too. Emails are fine.
Okay, great. Okay, any other meetings from anybody else? No? Oh, we were advised, attendance-wise, we have this evening with us Commissioner Ritz, Commissioner Sweeney, Commissioner Blanchard, Commissioner O'Donnell, myself, and the mayor. Commissioner Buckman did advise us that she would not be able to attend this meeting, so we were made aware of in advance that she would be unable to attend. Moving forward, we go to our meeting items. Did everybody have a chance to review the meeting minutes from the June 5 town meeting? Does anybody have
Yes.
any changes or questions related to that or enhancements they want to see?
I had nothing to change.
I have none either.
No, we're okay? All right, is there a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I make a motion to accept the June 5th town meeting minutes as presented.
Very good. Is there a second for the motion?
I'll second.
The motion's been made by Commissioner Sweeney. It's been seconded by Commissioner Ritz. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries 4-0 with all commissioners in favor, Commissioner Buckman absent. Okay, we now turn to the deputy and our police report.
Good morning, or good morning, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I'll be in tomorrow, that's why I'm saying that, I guess. I'm Deputy Whitehouse with the Sheriff's Office, Frederick County Sheriff's Office. This is the Community Deputy Report for June 2017. Traffic stats, we had 43 stops, so 64 violations. We had 5 collisions in town, one of them which needed to be documented, and we did 5 selective traffic enforcements. The proactive enforcements, the toss cards 20, we got out and walked 18 times. We did 4 bike patrols and 23 patrol checks. The calls for service, not a whole lot. We had 2 thefts, 2 destructions of property, personal property. And suspicious people, activity in vehicles, those were all up from zeros, I believe, last month. So that's what we're looking for. It means people are calling in and reporting things. So hopefully that's a trend that's going to continue. 5 noise complaints, disorderlies, 11 911 calls we responded to. The arrests and violations for the month, we had 5 traffic arrests, and we had a criminal summons we served. The special assignments and the events on the next page. We had the Community Heritage Day, which myself and Deputy Mostauer were present from beginning to end.
We appreciate that.
Sure,
Thank you for your
sure.
service.
And we had the Junior Deputy Academy, which was actually held in Middletown on the 29th of June. That we had to attend that too. So, and on the comments, we'd like to congratulate the McKenney family. It's Brian, Melissa, Dominic, and Hayden for winning the Emmitsburg scavenger hunt. I'd like to thank everybody who participated and contributed prizes to the scavenger hunt. Obviously, it was a good time. I think everyone had a lot of fun with it, but it wouldn't have been such a success without the generosity of people donating and putting time in, such as Frank Davis. It was here; he was involved with that, and we appreciate that. And there will be traffic delays in town. We've noticed that obviously due to the sidewalk construction. I guess some complaints on that as well. Just asking people to be patient. And for this coming weekend, we will be monitoring the traffic in and around the square. I guess as the detours are up, I'm sure people are going to be impatient and cutting through the back roads there on the alleys. And I'll be out there watching and making sure people are obeying all the signs and speeds and all that kind of stuff. And once again, just have an increase of the reporting of the suspicious vehicles, persons in the situations, and it's what we are looking for. What means people are, like I said, being vigilant and making calls, and that's been stressed several times. And like I said, hopefully that's something that's going to continue. People are going to report these things, so just appreciate that. And that's all I have for the town report for the month. If anybody has any questions of any kind, I can.
Any questions?
Just move it.
Commissioner Blanchard, anything?
Go ahead.
Just one thing, the car crashes, the 5 with 1 documented, were any of those related to the projects going on in town, like
No.
backups or delays? Just
No,
separate?
unrelated, yes.
Great, okay, well, yeah, I'm sorry for them, but I'm glad they're managing the traffic.
I have one.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, but you had 43 stops and 64 violations?
Yes.
You had, they got multiple tickets that would have.
Yeah, I mean, that can be as a result of anything from like a DUI or suspender. There's more citations. It's not,
Okay.
yeah, you don't, I mean, sometimes you issue more than one, either citation or citation warning or repair order on one stop, and so it just add up. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, I'll jump the gun on talking about the MML conference, but I attended the conference presentation on community policing, and I would say you are very much in tune with what they're asking us to do. There was a gentleman from the FBI. There was a deputy from Salisbury, the municipality of Salisbury, the city of Salisbury,
Okay.
who talked about their programs. And I was just kind of going through what you and your preceding sheriffs have done, and we're just ticking boxes. So thank you. Keep it up. We're
Sure.
appreciative of that.
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
there's anything obviously we can do different or something
Sure.
else, let us know.
it was just nice to hear, like, they brought these people in because they're in fairly high esteem and they know
Yes.
the trade. And, one of them kept on calling the job working at the factory, though. I was like, I don't know about that, but it's a profession. It's a profession. So, but you guys are there. I mean, you're definitely on the edge of what's going on the right way. So thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Crusher.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Narcan came up down at the MML meeting, and
Okay.
in some communities, they're going back 4 and 5 times to the same user, and the concern was that what happens if we're expected to do this all the time, and we don't have enough that time, and all that stuff. So it's a very sensitive issue of how to administer that. And
Yeah.
I know for the one emergency, yes, but this one town kept coming back and said 4 and 5 times, we go back to the same person. And we want to make sure our exposure liability, what if we don't give him enough or give him too much, or the person that or whatever?
Yeah, myself and Deputy Mostar, we each have one dose in our vehicle.
That's it?
And that's all we carry, yes. And the ambulance may have one. Sometimes it may take more than 3.
Yes.
3 doses. If that's the case, it's just unfortunate.
Right.
I mean, there's no other way around it. I mean, it may happen. Hopefully, it doesn't. We've been lucky; we haven't had to use Narcan very often up here. So,
Good.
not a lot of overdoses in town.
Very
So,
Thank you very much from my part.
sure.
And also Heritage Day, you guys were spectacular.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
was a terrific event this year, and just absolutely, what you all did was phenomenal. Thank you very much.
Sure, absolutely.
Great. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Terrific. Moving forward, we now turn
Excuse me.
to the town manager's report.
Good evening. This is the town manager's report for May of 2017. I'll just highlight some of the key areas. In the streets, staff replaced 3 streetlight poles and fixtures on West Main Street. Staff also installed an additional dog or a pet waste station along East Lincoln Avenue by the entrance to the walkway off of Chesapeake Avenue. It was one of the areas that we received a lot of complaints on. Staff has been marking utilities from Timber Mill Run to Silo Hill Road for the new sidewalk replacement project. That'll be an ongoing task for staff. Staff removed the old farmer's market sign. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but we have a brand-new farmer's
real sharp.
market sign
Looks very sharp. It's good.
along South Seaton Avenue. And since we're talking about the farmer's market, I don't know if anybody's attended it yet, but we have a large variety of vendors, more so than we've had in the years past, and it's been very well attended. And that was due to the hard effort. Ms. Nail, Ms. Shaw, Ms. Ray, and Commissioner Buckman solicited vendors for the farmer's market, and it's been a wonderful time. If you haven't been there, check it out.
I have a question for that, since we're talking about it. How come they're not allowed to set up all day long? Why only 3 hours?
I believe that's just something that the board decided on, the hours from 3 to 6, I believe 3 to 6:30. People are working. They're starting to come home at 3 o'clock and stay till 6:30.
The original suggestion was putting it there at the end of the day as people are coming back into town on a Friday. North Seaton Avenue obviously is used by a lot of folks in town, but also coming from south of here to Pennsylvania. So the idea was to kind of capture some of that traffic.
Yeah, the only thing I was wondering, maybe that's why we couldn't get so many vendors, because maybe it's just only 3-hour period, and I don't know if they want it longer. I know that-
Most farmers markets run for 3-4 hours
That's
max.
what I've seen also.
I
yeah.
didn't know, that's why I
Yep.
wanted to ask if that was caused.
Yeah, it's gonna
Right.
I know the one over here they have at the outlets, I don't know how long that ran, but
Right.
they have it like 2 or 3 days in a row. Okay, that answered my question.
Staff in the park, staff worked on ball field number 1 in Community Park. They drug grass, put on mix in the infield, and replaced all the foot inserts and bases, new home plate, and a new 60-90 pitcher's mound. And that field, as I've mentioned before, is open for reservations. Just need to contact the town office. Anybody is allowed to reserve it. Staff installed a new stop sign and speed bump on the road to the ball field number 3 in Community Park. We were receiving complaints of speeding back to the Babe Ruth field. And Rainbow Lake is at the spillway level. Our wells are now on average of 28.75 feet below their May 2011 level, so they're continuing to rebound. In the month of May, we received 6 inches of precipitation. We have a surplus of 0.55 inches over the last 6 months. That's the first time we've been in the surplus for well over 6 months. We had 3 spills of untreated sewerage in the month of May due to the large amount of rain in one day. The spills totaled an estimated loss of 7,650 gallons, and these spills were reported to the state of Maryland, as we're required to do. And as a result, we exceeded the plant's design capacity 5 times in the month of May because of all the rain we received. And trash pickup will remain Mondays for the remainder of the month of July. That's all I have.
Any questions or comments for the town manager? No? Okay. I did receive one comment, and I might owe you an apology.
Oh, good.
Someone had yet another one, right? Someone had a concern specifically about the sidewalk in front of their business, and they had contacted the state highway folks multiple times, and they had not heard back from them. So I said, I would suggest if they're not, hearing back from them, to please contact you. I'll give you details later if they haven't contacted you, but this is somebody who, as long as I've known them for 15 years or so, they've never complained about anything, and they were very measured in it. So I took it kind of to heart that I'd like them to be able to have that ability to kind of just share with you what their concerns were.
Right, and the practice has been, we will take in complaints here, and we do send them on to State Highway, and it's been working, so if they haven't, please send them our way.
Sure. And I meant to tell you earlier, so I hope they didn't get you before I got you here tonight. So sorry about that. No one likes to be surprised by that sort of thing.
It's okay.
Okay. Any other questions for, yes, Mr. Vice?
Not so much a question, just a comment. Had a chance to ride the park this morning, very well kept. Had a chance to run into some of the town staff that were mowing. Just all the trails, very well kept. Everything's mowed back real nice. Nothing's really growing close to the fields at all. No drainage issues.
Good.
I didn't see any trash. So just kudos to the town staff for keeping everything looking the way the park should look. So,
Thank you.
all right.
I also have been walking quite frequently through the park. The area that you cleaned up in the middle where the dog park was originally supposed to be is really nice now since you cleaned it all up, left 1 or 2 trees here.
That makes a nice view.
Yeah, and the dog park is clearing I've seen that you
Yes.
have been working on, so
Yes,
everybody's excited about that. Every time I go back there, they're all wondering, when's it going to...
we're
I
working
said,
on
we're
it.
working on it.
Right, right.
We're working on it.
Well, I don't want to feel left out here, so I like the American flags along Main Street.
Yes.
It's a very nice touch.
Thank you.
It looks really nice. So,
Thank you. It was staff's suggestion.
yeah.
I like it too.
So let's keep that up then.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Great. Okay. All right. We now turn to the town planners report.
Okay, we have an ongoing project. At the May 1st meeting, the commissioners asked that we prepare a text amendment to address having places of worship in the commercial zone. And I went to the Planning Commission, we had a meeting on June 28th. I did a presentation about our existing ordinance, but also there's federal laws about religious uses, and it's not as simple as just adding some words in one section. We have to kind of go through the entire ordinance and make sure everything is consistent within itself. So we're meeting again on June 24th. That's a week earlier than usual, but some members couldn't be there on the 31st. So I'm going to have an ordinance draft by then and have sent it to our town attorney for review before going back to the Planning Commission. So we'll proceed from there. And as we've been saying, the sidewalk projects are going on, and I've been kind of the contact person for State Highway, make sure everybody gets coordinated, and figuring out where they need to have the no parking. They tell us, but then we put it in terms of what's reasonable for our community. And they just got permission to, the original plan that they did with the state was to just move all the way down Main Street on the north side. And when the contractor got the contract, he put in a request to see if they could turn around at Jameson and go back west, like hop across the street, rather than, it just seemed more compact and just disturb one section of town at a time. So they finally did get permission last Friday to make that change, and they will be, once they get to Jameson, they're on the north side, they're going to cross the street and go back out toward Fraley and eventually to Timber Mill on the,
Okay, thank you.
or as close as you can get on that side.
Would it be an inaccurate guesstimate to think they would have that done before the opening of schools or close to it?
That was the mayor's question today, and before the meeting, I sent an email to
Okay.
State Highway. That's the best that we can do is ask.
Okay, terrific, thank you.
Yeah, and the issue out there is that, there's a low spot on that
Right.
vacant lot where they have to put some drainage in and things, so they couldn't start there.
Right.
Other than that, I've been working on community legacy. The fire company applied for money to do the paint, the trim, and also they have a roof that's leaking a portion of the roof, so we're waiting for the historical review on that. And we also just last week got confirmation for the building at 1 West Main, the light green one. They're going to paint, so the square's going to be really looking quite nice. So that's about all I think I need to mention. I think the mayor's going to talk some more about the sidewalk, I think.
Okay. Any questions for the planner related to what we've heard or other things? No? Very good. Okay. Thank you. So we now turn to the commissioner's comments. Mr. Ritz.
Yes, just a reminder that this Saturday at Community Park, between 5 and 7, it'll be a family fun night. We have some music, a caricaturist, and there'll be some light refreshments, and it'll be a fun time. So if anybody can come out, please join us.
What kind of music?
Family oriented.
Joe, what time? Commissioner Joe, what time? What's the times? What's the times?
Between 5 and 7.
5 and 7. You've got some work there.
What's that?
4:30 to 5.
Still working on that.
He's going to
Very
swing
good.
that up.
Many obligations. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, very good. Commissioner Sweeney.
Yes, on behalf of the Lions Club and the Heritage Day Committee, which consists of most of the organizations in town, I want to thank everyone for their help for Community Day, because it took all of us to pull it off this year. Especially town staff, the police, the fire and rescue, and the ambulance, and the Knights of Columbus, and the Masons. I think every organization this year was represented down in the park. So, and we used the whole entire park again this year. We had bike rodeos, and we had the pivot, or some activities that were done in the park earlier before everything else started. And we added some stuff this year. The car show went really well this year, and all the activities, everything was together. So and then we also did. This was our best year so far on taking in donations and stuff. So we're way on our way for fireworks for next year. So we appreciate everybody's donations and stuff that come in. We accept any donations. It don't matter what they are. Dollar helps. So thanks from the Lions Club and from the Heritage Day Committee, because we work very hard. And if anybody wants to come and see what we all spent and used and everything, and how much money we have left, come to the meeting on the 17th at 7 o'clock. And that's when we'll talk about everything. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Blanchard.
A couple things. Just kudos to Commissioner Sweeney and all the work that was done for Community Day and all the groups that you got involved in this. Very well done. I know my family enjoyed it, and I know lots of people that enjoyed it. So hats off to you again for all the work you put into it. I know it's a tremendous amount of effort over the course of the year to get it done. So hats off to you. Next thing is this Wednesday, if it's possible to get this on the website, this will be the first food drop of the food bank this Wednesday from 3 to 6. And because of the construction, it's going to be held at Elias Lutheran Church. We have a sign out up front, but if it's possible to get it on the town website and on our TV channel also, that's at Elias Lutheran Church parking lot. Kathy, is that possible?
Yes.
Okay. And it's going to be from 3 to 6 in the large parking lot behind that church. That's also when the August drop will be, but I don't have that date right now to give you. But we're doing that still at construction, just trying to put all the people from Main Street and everything else. So that's the biggest thing happening this week. Attended the MML conference, obviously, with the mayor, President Donald, Commissioner Buckman. Lots of interesting classes, lots of interesting information. Had a chance to talk to delegates, senators, and state senators. Cardin and Van Hollens were there, so it was always nice to come out. I'll just sit there and chat and have a conversation with a U.S. senator type thing. So it's kind of convenient to, when you're down there, to the access you have to the power structure of our country. It's just kind of unique. So it's a good time there. I think that's it. Yep. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Sweeney, and to Ms. Joy, who's obviously not here, hats off to you guys. That was by far and away the best community day that I'm aware of. I mean, you guys did a heck of a job. I hope you guys napped well that following week, recovered well. Because I know you guys were like sprinting a marathon like the whole day.
My hair hurt when I went home.
I don't know.
'Cause I was sunburnt so bad, my hair hurt.
Oh, man. I did attend Maryland Municipal, as did the mayor, as did Commissioner Buckman, as did Commissioner Blanchard, and town staff. We had members there, Ms. Willits. The events that I attended, the meetings I attended related to sign regulation, community policing, as I mentioned before. I did attend part of a meeting related to healthy waters, but that seemed very driven toward the Eastern Shore and the Bay's health directly, so I stepped out of that one. The following day, I attended meetings related to rental property regulation. There are some new rental property ideas that are being floated that have been tested legally related to licensing of rental properties. And some municipalities are having some success there, and they found it an effective tool to provide safe rental properties, and they have found that it's been very useful to them. I also attended the small town discussion, and they talked about a range of items. I have about 24 pages of notes here, but it talked about fleet management. They talked about workmen's compensation issues related to town management. They also talked about payment in lieu of tax, which is something with our community. We have a number of large private entities that use our services, and we provide services to them, and they share some benefits on their end to us. But some communities are looking at this payment in lieu of tax as a means to enhance their the services they provide to their communities and those who don't typically pay taxes. So that's something I think we should give consideration to in the future, just to talk about at least. After that, there was the Secretaries Roundtable, where we were able to meet with the secretaries of the governor. Virtually every department was represented there by the lead or the undersecretary or deputy secretary. I had a very good opportunity to talk to Mike Gill, who's the head of the Department of Commerce. And I made it very clear the message we hope to see in Emmitsburg is bringing employment to our community to further enhance what we're doing everywhere else. I think we're making every effort to make ours a better and stronger, livable community. And he is very tuned into what's going on here in Emmitsburg. I was very impressed by his depth of knowledge. And my hope is we can see some follow through on both our end and on their end to maybe invite businesses to give us consideration who wouldn't otherwise give us consideration. Moving from there, I also heard back today from the State Highway Administration after talking to them, and they were very interested in talking about the notion that we're trying to connect ourselves municipality-wise potentially on this grand history loop related to a route from Gettysburg to the C&O Canal. That was something that was talked about in a meeting this past winter that I attended in Hagerstown, and the state highway folks are putting some energy into that. So let's hope that pays some dividends for us. It certainly would, I think, in tourism especially. Moving from there, we talked about, I attended the governor's subcommittee on smart growth. I offered basically what was going on in Emmitsburg, a nice commercial for us, and they all thought that was pretty nifty, and they all want to visit now, so they're all going to come up soon, I hope. And finally, the last meeting I attended was the economy's direction. The speaker was an economist from the SAGE Policy Group, Anirban Basu, who you might hear on NPR once a week or so talk about the economy. Very interestingly, he said that the economy in Maryland is reasonably strong. His projection is modest but steady growth in the economy. He went through his sort of stream of logic as to why, and it seemed to hold water, what he was talking about. In the times I've heard him speak before, everything he said seemed to ring true over time. It was about 3 years ago. So my hope is that he's accurate in his projection for the Maryland economy to remain strong, and that the market everybody wants, millennials, are turning to housing as an investment for them. So with that in mind, I asked the question, are millennials looking for new houses? Are they looking for places to put sweat equity into? And his answer was, they're looking for finished houses. Okay, they carry $70,000 of debt or more from undergraduate and graduate degrees. So when they step into a property, their hope is to see a finished jewel box. They want to see something that's good, nice, and ready to go, like turnkey, as opposed to something that one might put sweat equity into and get for a lower price. So just sort of a piece of information on that. Turning away from the MML, I have been contacted by some individuals related to their concerns about the odor related to the water treatment plant, and when asked if they'd had anything recently, they actually said no, nothing. But I said, please contact me if you do hear, if it is of a concern, and they were happy to hear that. Like I said, I did get a state highway call about the linking to the C&O Canal and the Great Allegheny Passage for cycling and pedestrians. And one last time, hats off to you for Community Day. It was a really wonderful town
It wasn't
experience.
me, it was everybody.
I know, but you can carry that message for us to the appropriate parties if we don't see them first, because it was wonderful.
It was a together effort.
Sure.
If everybody didn't work together, it wouldn't have happened.
Agreed.
So it's just not one person, it's
Sure.
many, many, many people.
Now, Mr. Mayor, we turn the ball over to you. Run.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sweeney,
Oh, here it comes.
but thank you, and to the Joys there. It's you were the top of this management team that pulls this Community Heritage Day off, and it was spectacular. And thank you again for everything you do for the community.
Our program was the most attended also, and we had the most, our whole stage was completely filled, and it hasn't been that way for a good while. All the commissioners were there, and
Well,
we had some county commissioners were there, and
That's
Everything
terrific.
really, and then there was a lot of people in the audience actually watching, and it hasn't been that way for a while.
But just,
So I'm glad everything turned out really well this year.
just the,
Nice to have it. You put all that effort in, and it's nice that people come out and actually participate in the event.
just the hours of work you put in all year. Thank you for doing that. To our staff, they're doing a phenomenal job. We did win a award from the state, the Maryland Green Registry Award for the leadership, and they were really hats off to the solar as a support of the wastewater treatment plant, and the facts are revealed. We saved $72,000 with solar, so we're there's the hard facts, and that makes everybody really happy. But the award was spectacular. We beat out other larger municipalities, and it's just terrific what the staff has done and what we've done in the past. The LED lights, everything, connectivity, everything is spectacular. Just an update on all this. The information I'm going to give you right now is going to be on the website and Facebook, but these are our estimated times of completion. The pool by next May 2018. We finally have gotten the permits, and the health department, they've wiggled back in here again, but we need something from them to connect to the everything that we have existing, and upgrade there. So we're still working with that. Dog park, no later than the spring of 18. We're going in for a second grant. We've done the clearing, putting out fencing bids, and it's going to be a reality here, and I know people are really eager. We do have the potential for other people, if they want to step up and buy a bench or a sign, or get some notice there for their favorite dog or whatever they've had in their life. Square and downtown revitalization, which includes the sidewalks all the way on East and West Main Street, June of 2018, and we are very cognizant. We like to connect to Brookfield, but we'll just have to see what the flow of the job is. We just got knocked out last week for closing the square as scheduled because the weather, and we have to play around that. And they're very accommodating on their hours. It's late. They start after rush hour, and they finish before the evening rush hour, so very good there. Flat Run Bridge, it's moving slowly, but it is. We're looking at fall 2018, and those are the big projects. And in the last 4 years, we've worked on over $30 million worth of improvements to the town, and most of it is through grants and other things. I met with Congressman James Raskin. He was here in town, and I had a chance to talk to him. And across the aisle, Kirby DeLauder was there, and also Sheriff Jenkins. So it was a great meet the public meeting about a week ago, and very enthusiastic. And he is a hiker, and I think I told him about our trails up here, and I think he will be coming up here soon. Tomorrow I meet with the largest developer in Frederick County, and he'll be up here, and I'm going to take him around and show him the town. And we're getting our platform set with all the revitalization projects, and putting the lipstick on everything in the town. But it's going to be really special, and if he can get something going up here, and he's very interested in that. We just received a grant for $221,907 for Energy Water Infrastructure Program grant. This would help them reduce energy consumption at the water and wastewater treatment plants. Town should save $6,000 annually in electricity bills with this, and hats off to the staff, Ms. Willits and everybody, Ms. Shaw, and everyone down the line there. It's terrific. They're knocking it out of the park. They're let's see, we have one more grant we're working on, and that's at the field. Getting a flat field working here in the back. we applied for a grant, the $75,000 grant to design, engineer, put water fountains out there and possibly fence and maybe some bleachers and goal. It's going to be spectacular, and we're still working that out with the staff's still working that out with the school board, but it should be something we've all wanted as a flat field up there for lacrosse and soccer and rugby.
Rugby, yes, sir. And field hockey.
And field hockey, there you go. And they have a pool party coming up next Friday. So it's a really wonderful evening, 2 evenings in town for the, with Commissioner Ritt's party on Saturday, and this on, it's about 6 to 8. And we'll have free hot dogs and everything like that. Just the that property ordinance, the rental property ordinance, we brought something in here about 2 years ago, and it was just maybe a little premature, and I think the direction was, let's see what the state does with them, but now they've done something with it, and if we're primping up the whole town and making it more walkable and safer and enjoyable, we're going to need this, and maybe some responsibility for what's out in front of them on the walkways, discarding cigarette butts and things like that. And we'll just have to see how that goes. We have some wonderful old family landlord here, and we don't want to disrupt theirs, but some of these other properties we got to bring in line with the way the cadence they have to taking care of of the town and respecting it. So there's probably something else, but I think that'll do it. All this information will be on the website. We got great publicity for winning the Maryland Green Registry Award. It was just terrific. We beat out 2 large cities, and usually we beat out. Usually have at least 1,500 employees, and we're doing all this stuff up here with in-house and staff. We have 16 people total, and hats off and Ms. Shaw and Mr. Shaw and Ms. Briggs and I went down and got the award in Annapolis, and it was really a wonderful tribute to everything everybody's done up here in the town. Thank you, sir. Thanks,
Yes, sir. Okay.
Question for the mayor.
Yes, sir. Question for you, sir.
Mr. Mayor, a couple of people and organizations in town wanted to know if the town could, I don't know if they can, but most of the towns on their signs that come into town, they have a little board or a little thing that runs across the bottom with the
Lions, the Tigers, Bears.
yes,
Yeah,
has Lions Club or Knights of Columbus, whatever organizations are in town for people to look at. I didn't know if we could. I was just asked if they wanted to know
Okay.
if the town could do that or not, or if
Well-
not, can they get maybe a
We'll
board somewhere to put in so they can.
we'll bring it up to the
Notes
board.
are
We'll work something up, bring it back to you all, and see if it's appropriate for you to do. We have one up there.
Something that looks nice and blends in really pretty with the sign would be
Right,
nice.
right. I'll be up to you all, and we'll bring something back for you if that's okay, Ms. Willis. You have nothing else to do?
Yes, I'll discuss it with the town planner. Yes. Yes. I was listening. I was making my notes.
Yeah. All right, that's some of your water. Can we pass your water around? No, okay, okay.
Very good. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions for the mayor related to what we've heard, or any other items for the mayor? No? Okay, very good. Mr. Mayor, I didn't realize that the Shaw thing was a package deal, but I'm glad for it, you know.
What is it?
I didn't realize the Shaw thing was a package deal, but I'm glad for it, you know. Team Shaw. Okay, moving forward. We have nobody at this time signed up for public comments. Is there anybody who would choose to speak at this time? No? Hearing none? Okay. All right, so now we turn to administrative business. There was a request, I believe, for myself related to the online traffic statistics for Facebook and the town's website. Ms. Shaw, are you running this one? Great.
Okay.
Grab that light.
Does this work for you or no?
Sure.
The other.
Put it on or
You guys want it on or off? Any preference?
let's try it once.
Okay,
Do it, sir. Oh, that's good.
here we go.
Okay, works. Okay. Team Shaw. Like that. Tuscarora High School, University of Maryland. There we go.
All right. Good afternoon. I'm Madeline Shaw. I'm the town clerk, and I worked with Miss Ray on collecting the data for this PowerPoint. As requested in the June town meeting, our staff put together a presentation that briefly shows our website and Facebook user data. Terry Ray, our office manager, was the main one who collected all the numbers, and she did an excellent job preparing this presentation. Ms. Ray also manages these pages and does a good job posting updates so that everyone can stay informed about what's going on around town. So first, for those who do not know, we have a Facebook and website page that we post events, announcements, updates, and other informative information on. This slide shows the URLs. The Facebook link is also on our website, so if you go there, it should be on the homepage on the left side. So first, for our Facebook page, I would like to highlight a few stats. Then I will briefly go over our website. The Facebook numbers are from the past year. As you can see, we have a steady increase of Facebook users that are following the town's Facebook page. For non-Facebook users, this just means they are subscribing to receive town updates about what we're doing and events. We started 2017 with approximately 720 followers, and we have added 225 people in just 7 months. That's an additional 225 people that are choosing to receive updates about the town in their daily feed when they get on Facebook. So post reach, this shows the number of people that have seen a town's post on Facebook. For the second quarter, which is April, May, and June, the average is about 370 people. The max amount is 2,202 people, and the minimum is 34. Reach can be increased if our followers share a post that they see, they like it, and they'll share it on their page with maybe friends or family. Some of the most recent posts that have reached a lot of people have been a photo mentioning the beginning of the dog park. We posted a picture of the clearing site, and about 1,600 people saw that. Construction updates, we've had about 2,600 people see those posts, which is the majority of them recently. And then we've had the announcement on the Maryland Green Registry Leadership Award. We had about 1,600 people see that too. Let's see, the 2,200 people one, when I researched it, it looks like that was when we posted all the pictures from Community Heritage Day. So a lot of people like seeing those.
In case we forget, Mr. Sweeney, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you again.
And he took all the photos, I heard.
Elizabeth did. She was our photo lady.
Yeah. Engagement is the Facebook users that view our post and respond by clicking on the links or reacting with emojis or commenting on the post or sharing them, whatever it is. We get the most engagement from photos, as you can see on the left side. We think that's mainly because people like to just view things quickly and don't want to read a bunch of text. So that's been, and Terry, whenever she posts stuff on her Facebook page, she usually tries to use photos to make sure she's grabbing attention. For comments, we usually don't have that many, but recently we've had about 1 to 2 comments a month, which is an increase for us. And we try, when there's comments and there's questions in the comments, to answer them to the best of our ability. On average, we have about 9 people sharing posts when they see them. Oops. Every time. Okay, so for follower breakdown, this shows the people who receive our updates on their Facebook feed. Mainly it's Emmitsburg residents, as you can see, and the most common demographic is women 35 to 44 years old. When I was looking, so this is the top 10 cities, but the list was pretty extensive. There was a lot of places that just had 1 or 2 people that were viewing from different locations. The furthest places that I thought were interesting were Houston, Texas, and Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're glad we can help them.
Yeah, right?
Washington 4, Maryland.
People reach, this shows the people that have seen any content associated with their page. So maybe if someone sees something and they share it on their own Facebook page, this extends our reach. Mainly it's Frederick City residents, as you can see, and the demographic is the same. It's women 35 to 44 years old is our most common group that we reach for these. And then this is the third group of people. This shows the number of people tagging the page or talking about the page and comments or posts. And mainly it's Emmitsburg residents. There is a slight increase in the age demographic from women that are 35 to 44 years old to women that are 45 to 54. And that concludes our Facebook section. For the town website, let's see. So a session occurs when a user goes to our website and is actively involved in it by either viewing the screen, clicking on different links, and this chart shows the sessions since January 1st, 2017. So over all of 2017 in general. On Wednesday, June 28th, we had the highest number of sessions so far with 207 people viewing that page. It looked like it was a result of the water line repair to West Main Street, but we can't be positive about that. But that's what my research revealed.
When you're making that sort of estimate, that hypothesis, are you basing it on that's when that information got released?
Yeah.
Is that the tie-in? Okay.
Yeah,
great.
so I look at the date of the statistic, and then I go back and try to look on the website to see what happened on that day.
Terrific.
So far this year, we've had about 6,871 users. There's been approximately 23,000 people that have viewed the page, and on average, visitors spend about a little over 2 minutes looking at a page. And Google estimates approximately 65% of our users are first-time visitors. The most recent month for June, we had about 1,800 users, 5,462 total page views. And then on average, visitors spend a little bit less than what it's been over the past year on a page. It's about 1 minute and 50 seconds, which to us, that shows us that users are able to find the information they want more quickly. They don't have to spend as long searching through a page. Let's see. This is comparing the 2 quarters of this year. So the first quarter would be January, February, March, and the second would be April, May, June. We have an increase in users since last period and page views. People are spending less time in a session, which I just mentioned. And then the bounce rate is lower. So the bounce is basically when you go to a page and you click on a link and then you bounce to another page. And that just shows that all the information they need is in one page. They don't have to search around and click on a lot of links to get to where they need to go. So for new and returning users, we've been pretty consistent for 2017 with about 65% of our page visits as new and 35% as returning users. The blue is the new and the green is the returning. And I apologize, everything's kind of small. We took these as screenshots off of the website and online, and we tried to blow them up as big as possible, but there's only so much we can do.
Quick question. Is that based on IP address, I'm assuming?
The website?
The new user or returning user, I guess you would figure it out from IP address?
So these numbers are all from Google Analytics. So Google keeps track of all of our users that come to our website and what they click on and things like that. So we didn't do any calculations to get these numbers. This is all from Google. And I'm assuming it's from the IP address.
Okay.
Location demographics, which I thought this was interesting too. The top is Washington, D.C. for the city that views our website the most. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't really know how Google calculates analytics, but maybe because FEMA is in Emmitsburg, they're relating FEMA to Washington, D.C. I'm not sure. That could be a possibility. Or maybe we just have a lot of people in Washington, D.C. that love Emmitsburg.
Or maybe they just want to know why we have everything solar and they don't.
Yeah, right. And then Thurmont, Frederick City, and then Emmitsburg's following. For that. And then this is the last slide I have. It's the top 10 pages visited on our website. The top being our homepage with our newsfeed on it. Then there's the Square project and the sidewalk project. Now, all the numbers I've just showed you were just for June, but this is the last 28 days, so this is part of June and July because I wanted to give you the most recent numbers. Then it's the pool. I think a lot of people are going on there and maybe trying to see why the pool's closed. And then everything else follows. And then 2 other interesting things I found when I was doing the research with Terry is that most of our website views are Fridays between noon and 1 o'clock. And
Everybody's trying to figure out what to do for the weekend.
yeah, and most people access the website via a computer, a desktop computer, than a mobile device. Any questions?
Anybody? No?
Very good. At least they're using it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you. This is good. Is there anything based on what you've seen that you would modify or change in how we're using our website? Do you feel we're using it effectively enough?
I think we're trying the hardest with what we have. We're trying to let people know that we have a website and all the information's on there. Like Terry, for instance, she's been posting on the website or Facebook page the link to the sidewalk project details so that people can just go straight to the website and see all of our information.
Okay.
And everything is really well organized. Terry's constantly, or Miss Ray, I'm sorry. Miss Ray is constantly looking at how she can improve the website and make it more accessible and more easy to find things.
Terrific. I mean, I've heard a lot of praise about it, and I thank you for this effort. Was she part of the putting this together as well, or?
Yeah, she put basically this whole PowerPoint together.
Very good. Well,
I'm just presenting.
It's spot on for what we need.
She's terrific. She's our office manager. She's done a terrific job.
Anybody have any suggestions for the website or anything they'd want to see enhanced? Or are we okay with how things are? at the
Just,
moment?
sorry.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Just keep you updated with new photographs, as things are happening, especially with the square revitalization project. Just kind of keep people up to date, what's happening with it, and gives people a chance to go, oh, okay, making progress, moving forward.
Yeah.
That's all.
You're probably going to have a lot of hits this weekend coming.
Yeah, we do. As I just mentioned, we have a page specifically designated to the SHA projects on our website, so people can go there and view everything. And as soon as we hear from Miss Sipperly, any updates about like where there's no parking or detours, we try to post it as soon as possible.
I get lots of questions just walking the street, so it's like I figured the more information we get on the website, the better. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask. Since this, I don't know if it's appropriate to do that. It's not has anything to do with this, but before I forget it, I might as well ask it because I forgot to do it when you brought it up before the food bank. Since the project of the parking and everything is going on, do you think the Dollar General store would let the food bank people use the parking lot?
Well, for our food drops this summer, we decided just to go away from it. Although we didn't, because what happens usually is when people park alongside the street.
So do they still have to come down there to get the food?
No. Well, for the weekly, just coming down to get like on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, yes. But for the big food drops involve like 150 people.
Yeah.
That's why we're using Elias Lutheran
Okay.
Church parking lot.
I was wondering.
We have enough space for just the normal coming in the week, on Tuesday or Wednesday night to pick up the food, everything else. And in fact, SHA, I got to give my hats off to them. They've actually sort of filled in this one bump we had to go into the parking lot and helped us out and widened up an area for people to actually drive in to get into the food bank. So that's not an issue right now. It's just our big drop. That's why we got to have it over there, because that will be an issue.
Good.
Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Commissioner Blanchard, what type of food items are they looking for? Particular.
Well, the donation. Well, you mean this Wednesday, this food drop? It's people coming in from the state, so they'll be getting everything. They'll be getting vegetables, fruits, everything you can think of, a whole gamut of food, basically. And the food drop is actually from the state. People are actually able to pick it up. So we'll probably service about 150 people this Wednesday.
Phenomenal.
Wonderful. That's terrific.
We've done that every summer, but we wanted to make sure we had people who could have access to it without having to get all kinds of crazy traffic jams, and so that's why I had.
Okay, so sorry, Mr. Mayor, go ahead.
Just,
Sorry.
Mrs. Shaw, you hear about Snapshot and Instagram. And
Snapchat.
We have so many photo people looking at it. Is it worth it or not? I don't know of these mediums. Have you heard anything about it? Is it more work, too much work, or what? I don't know. What do you think?
No, I don't think Snapchat would be. I think right now your Facebook and website are your main avenues, and like Ms. Shaw said, the driving force is the photographs,
Right.
and staff's not always at all the events. So when you are at something, snap some photos. Staff be more than happy to work with you to get them downloaded. Commissioner Rich, your event this weekend, if we can get some pictures of that will help generate attendance for your next event. And, Commissioner O'Donnell, anytime you guys are up at the trail, like I said, staff will be more than happy to help you download the photographs. But I'll defer to Ms. Shaw, but I think the two avenues we're using right now are the best ones to get the information out.
Photos do draw people in, but
Sorry.
then you have to think too. Usually, Snapchat's related to a cell phone, so you have to have a specific cell phone designated to taking social media pictures, and you have to look into getting a cell phone for that and things like that.
Okay, very good.
But it's a good idea. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see where technology takes us.
So a couple of quick application questions, and this is something I don't think the metrics show us yet, and this is something hopefully as we move into August and September we might be able to look at. We'll have a lot of families and students inbound to the university, and I don't see anything that we have yet related to supporting the university in drawing students to our commercial and our retail entities. We kind of tripped over this issue recently with a separate thing. I'll get to that in a moment. But if there's a means by which we can create some, I don't know how to describe it, but making the town user-friendly to new students and saying, hey, if you didn't know, here's what we have. Saying, or just, here's what's here. So it doesn't spotlight an individual entity, but the collection of what we offer. And that would include, like, the churches, obviously, but as well as the retail, the store, the hardware store, and so on and so on.
I'd note two things.
Sure.
First off, we do have a link on or a page on our website there's a directory there.
Yes.
Of all, not all, we do our best. The businesses.
Virtually most of them, yes.
Community organizations, emergency organizations, things like that. We do have that on our website, two directories that anybody can access at any time. Second, Citizens Advisory Committee was tasked with coming up with a new resident packet, which would be useful for your college students as well, to a lesser extent.
Right.
But I think they're valuable tools that can be put together.
Like, there are two sides to this, and I'll go to sort of how I tripped on it. I know you guys saw it before I did, which I definitely want to acknowledge that. There are a number of athletic events that come to town. Like, I'm tuned into the cycling things, but there's been a couple of triathlons over at the university where they use the pool, they ride out of there, they do the runs on their campus and so on. And it strikes me that most of the people who come to these events, and as these events grow, there's no advertising from their end, from their sponsor, whatever the organization is or the charity that's running it, that connects to the town. So on the one side, I try to do the outreach and say, hi, I'm Tim, I'm a commissioner in town, and this is what I would like you to consider. We're 10 minutes away, get in the car, drive over, we have anything you need, it's right here. And for the university kids, I think we need to tailor something to their tastes. Like, basically, it's good that we have the grocery list of what's there, the names and the addresses, but if there's some means by which we can enhance it a little bit further, an interactive map or something you click on and it gives you something a little bit more, I think that might be helpful in drawing more people from the university here, because I feel that we have to be better tied to them than we have been in the past. So that's kind of where that's a direction I'd like to see considered for our website and to an extent for our Facebook posts. And I don't know, any other commissioners have thoughts on that or other ideas, or?
It would help out in the future when we get our sidewalk connected all the way out, or connect
Sure.
the walkway out all the way through there, because there'll be a lot more traffic coming in from out there probably.
Correct. That's exactly right. And when I spoke to State Highway today, that was something I brought up about, any support they can provide us to get that done would be wonderful. So, any other items related to the website we want to ask about, or the Facebook page? No? Okay. Anything else you want to add? Conclusions or?
No,
No? Great.
just thanks
Okay.
for your time.
Okay, thank you. This was very well done. This is very helpful. Okay, moving on from that in administrative business, we turn to our consent agenda item. We go to just informing the community there have been 2 resignations from the Citizens Advisory Committee. Both Zena Sykes and Ed Lowry have both stepped back from the Citizens Advisory Committee. We have 3 appointments to the Citizens Advisory. Now, when we're saying appointments, are we looking to have them appointed?
Yes.
Because I don't believe that we've, okay. All right, so there are 3 candidates to be appointed. We have Tricia Shepard, to the Citizens Advisory, all these will be to the Citizens Advisory. Will Shepard to the same committee, and Martin Miller to the same committee. Their terms would run from July 10th, 2017 to July 10th, 2019, so for 2 years from today. Okay, so as a consent agenda, is there a motion to accept these individuals as appointees to the Citizens Advisory Committee?
I'll make an appointment. I'll make a
Motion?
motion. Sorry, I'll make a motion to approve the appointments of the 3 individuals to the Citizens Advisory Committee.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second for Mr. Blanchard's motion?
I'll second it.
Very good. The motion's been made by Commissioner Blanchard, seconded by Commissioner Sweeney. All in favor, please say
I
aye.
had a I have a question.
It's a consent agenda item?
Just a question.
Okay, is it procedural?
Can a committee member serve on 2 committees? Does anything prohibit a committee member serving on 2 committees?
Yes.
Yes.
They can serve
They
on
can
more than
serve.
one committee.
No, they cannot.
That's changed?
Is a committee or because we used to have a couple different committees.
I don't know that's...
When I just looked, I won't say 100%, but I'm
Okay.
fairly certain that no, they cannot. Who's,
Mr. Martin Miller, does he live in Emmett Gardens?
yes, he's Carolyn Miller.
He was just last meeting appointed to the Parks and Recreation Committee.
Maybe this.
I believe, well, let me go get the book.
Wasn't
Do you
he?
have the
I don't believe so.
code with you?
I thought it was just her.
Be careful.
I thought it was
I knew
we
you can't.
had so much trouble getting committee members
Yeah.
that we allowed them to go on more than one committee.
Right.
I could be wrong. I've been here too
I
many
thought
years.
it was just her.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind. I just,
You like him. He's on your committee.
I'm fairly certain it says you cannot.
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
that's what I thought. That's why I brought it
I
up.
don't recall it.
remember what it is either. Is it a policy or what is it?
Hold on a second.
I can't remember.
He's got the book. Let's look at the book.
If you don't have any record of him on Parks and Recreation, then I'm all for him serving on Citizens Advisory.
Maddie, can you look that up real quick? Just check the website.
I'll race you. You'll beat me, I know.
Oh, to see if
It's
he's
the
on.
computer versus the book. Which one will be there?
Yeah,
He's
right.
not on parts.
She's gonna look. Miss Shaw's gonna look.
That's old school.
June.
I'm old school, unfortunately.
You're struggling
Because we've
there.
had other members resign from one committee to join another committee.
If you're having a problem, Mr. Commissioner, that the month was July, the previous month, June, I mean, if you're confused.
Did I misstate the term?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
No, just tease you.
Okay, all right.
Have a little trouble. What was the previous month? God, I gotta breathe.
I even looked.
May I interject here?
Yes, sir.
While
Please.
Mr. President's looking, do we have any record of Mr. Miller being on the Parks and Recreation
She's
Committee?
looking.
That's what you're
she's
looking?
up.
I mean, you can also check in the minutes. It should be there if that was in our last meeting, correct?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
I
why.
mean, you can literally look in your packet right now.
Maybe on the consent agenda.
That was just it wasn't last meeting, because that was just Mr. Hillman stepping down from the Citizens Advisory Committee.
I apologize then. So I guess
I believe it was just
Carolyn.
Carolyn Miller. I
Okay.
do not believe her husband, Mr. Miller.
Don't remember from previous meeting, Mr. Ritz, by any chance? I mean, I don't know, just yeah, in attendance at the meeting, who was there, that's all.
yeah.
Martin Miller was appointed to the Parks and Rec Committee on the March
March. Wow.
memory.
Okay.
Good memory.
I lose track of time.
Good memory.
I was thinking it was. Thank you.
All right, so he's on
Can you look
one. So can he serve on two?
He's trying to find it too. Can you look through it, see if there's any, if they cannot serve more than one? Should be right on there too.
I mean, in a perfect situation, typically we don't want to have redundant
Yeah.
participation, but
You
at the
may
same
have-
time,
You may approve the Shepherds and wait on Mr. Miller while we get confirmation. Because it may be a question for the town attorney as well.
I remember when
But,
before I was commissioner, I served just on one committee. I'm pretty sure I didn't serve on two. And I think I might have wanted to at the time, but I'm pretty much sure I was told no.
but I don't know that it's a written policy.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to figure out if.
And that's kind of okay. So that's a pretty reasonable suggestion. So,
it's
without insult to Mr. Miller, why don't we do procedural investigation, and therefore revise the motion?
yes.
So, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to find it directly, but
Well, if you want to just make a new motion,
so would you withdraw the first?
yeah, I
motion?
would draw the first motion.
Very good. Okay, so with that in mind, is there a second motion related to the appointment of Tricia Shepherd and Will Shepherd to the Citizens Advisory Committee for a two-year term from July 10th, 2017 to July 10, 2019?
I'll make a motion to approve Tricia Shepherd and Will Shepherd to the Citizens Advisory Committee for a term stating July 10th, 2017 to July 10th, 2019.
Very good. Okay. Is there a second for the motion made by Commissioner Blanchard?
I'll second.
Okay, the motion's been seconded by Commissioner Ritz. As it is a consent agenda item, we don't have discussion, so we
Okay.
know, but thank you. And we move forward. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Buckman absent. We now turn to the treasurer's report. Oh, I'm sorry. Following up with staff. So,
I will look into it. I
Great.
believe it's in the charter.
okay,
And I will then get with the town attorney if there's not an answer.
terrific.
And we
Okay,
can then proceed with that.
okay.
My apologies on not recalling if he was on your Parks Committee.
That's okay. And I'll see him this weekend. If he would rather serve on Citizens Advisory Committee, I mean, he's a great guy. You know, I no hard feelings on my end. So whatever committee he would like to serve on to help out
Okay.
with the town is fine with me.
For sure. Okay. Okay, moving forward, we turn now to the treasurer's report. If there's no further discussion related to the consent agenda items, hearing none, we turn to the report.
Okay, Mr. President. First off, good memory, Mr. Ritz. So, this is, all right, Treasurer's Report. Town of Emmitsburg, cash activity as of June 30th, 2017, $4,411,586. Cash balance June 1st, 2017, $4,424,569 operating balance forward. And as always, we have the top 10 check amounts, the vendor names, descriptions, etc.
Great. Are there any questions for the treasurer? Nope, hearing none, we move forward. Okay, at this time, we turn to the Planning Commission for their report. Is there one available?
I think Sue Dunn already gave a report of what we did, but I imagine she just say the same thing over again, but we just talked about the B2 zoning and she's working on the ordinance. I think we asked her to
Okay,
talk to the attorney and, they're gonna be, I think they want to be known as not churches, but, they had another word for it.
Places of worship.
Places of worship, yes, it was. And I think I wrote that down, places of
Makes
worship
sense.
somewhere here, but, yeah, they
Yeah,
want to
that
be,
makes sense.
because there's a lot of places of worship other than churches.
Mm-hmm.
okay, so Ms. Sipperly, related to the revised ordinance, if I heard correctly, it's going back to Planning and Zoning Committee, and then we would anticipate it coming back to the board at a later time after, pending their,
Depending what happens at that meeting.
Mhm.
But I think you might be looking at your September meeting. And
Okay.
that's one thing that has to be advertised at least 2 weeks ahead of the meeting because
okay,
Public hearing.
okay. Mr. Sweeney, that's
hold off on that, I think, until,
good for you.
Yes,
Okay,
well, we were required by federal law not to discriminate against them anyways.
Right, sure. Well, that's what it kind of was.
That's why we have to change.
Okay, so, any other questions related to the Planning Commission report? No, hearing none, let's move forward. All right.
I did
I'm
have
sorry,
one.
yes, sir. Mr.
This
Sweeney.
wasn't just for one church, this was for two.
Well, in general,
Yeah, in general,
the ordinance needed to
Got
be
another
brought up
one
to speed
big.
with the federal.
to Seton
Law.
Place. And we had to change the ordinance for that too, if they were gonna go out there, but, the church that's using the school wants to move to Seton Place.
Actually,
The place of worship.
Square.
Place
okay,
of worship,
place of worship,
yes.
very good. Okay,
Place of worship. They wanna move their place of worship to there, and then the other church wants to be built in the field behind the Quality Tire Center there.
interesting. Okay, thank you. Okay, so, any further questions or comments related to the Planning Commission report? Great. Okay, we now turn to agenda item number 1. This item is related to the National League of Cities Service Line Warranty. The presentation will be by Ali Shawarski. Did I say it correctly? Ashley, I'm sorry.
Name pretty good.
Okay. From Utility Service Partners.
Maddie, do you have her PowerPoint?
Thank you.
This is
Yes,
the
sir.
water
PowerPoint.
line, thank you. It's an insurance, or a warranty, rather.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you all for having me here this evening. My name is Ashley Shawarski, and I represent the National League of Cities Service Line Program. Our service line program is the only one that is endorsed by the National League of Cities, as well as we are strategic partners with the Maryland Municipal League as well. I did have the opportunity to see a few of you 2 weeks ago in Ocean City. But as the president stated, the company I do work for is called Utility Service Partners, and we actually administer the program. And we are a Better Business Bureau business with an A+ rating, as well as we did win the Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics from the Better Business Bureau. So that is something that we are very proud of, and we're always striving to maintain that high level of ethical standards while conducting business. And we're not located that far from you here. Our offices are right outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. What our program, though, really was designed to do was to help address the public policy issue of our aging infrastructure. We know that communities all across the United States really have been doing their part to either upgrade or maintain their public infrastructure, but the homeowners portion of these lines were kind of being forgotten about. So that's actually why the National League of Cities went out and did research. They wanted to make a program like ours readily and easily available to cities and towns all across the United States. So they went out, did the research on your behalf, and we were the company that they did choose to provide this program. So what we would actually do is we would partner with the town in order to make our completely voluntary program available to your residents. And we provide homeowners with optional protection on their external water lines, external sewer lines, as well as in-home plumbing. And we provide our services with a complete turnkey approach for the town, where we handle all of the aspects of the program: the marketing, billing, claims management, and customer service. And there is absolutely no cost or administrative time to the town if you choose to participate in the program. And the town would actually receive an incremental revenue stream for their participation as well. What I always find to be the biggest benefit of our program is that it really just helps to raise awareness. Pretty much every community that I speak with, I'll hear the same type of thing, that if a resident does have some sort of issue with one of their external lines, most of the time their first call is to someone here at the town. And then you go out only to find that the issue is actually on the homeowner's portion of the line. And then the town is left being the bearer of bad news, letting that resident know that this line is something, that the town's not responsible for and is not typically covered by their homeowner's insurance. So I always kind of think of our program as a free public awareness campaign, because all of the residents within the community would actually receive a letter in the mail. And the beginning of that letter really is just educational, where it lets homeowners know that these lines are something that they are responsible for and that the town has partnered with us in order to introduce this voluntary program. So even if someone chooses not not to enroll, at least in the future, they are well aware that these lines are their responsibility and that you as a town really tried to take a proactive approach at helping to educate them of this. Also, it really can give your residents peace of mind. They know for just a few dollars a month, if they choose, they're able to transfer the risk of these lines onto us, a reputable company that is endorsed by the National League of Cities, as well as partnered with the Maryland Municipal League. And if they were to have an issue, they just give us a call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And we would actually dispatch a local licensed plumber or contractor to do the repair. So that is a huge benefit of our program, that we only use local area contractors for all of our work. And we do that for many reasons, but mainly we want to keep as much money here within your town's local economy as possible, as well as your local contractors would be familiar with your local codes and will make sure to do the work up to your standards as well as ours, which includes getting all of the proper permit for that work. And really what happens is once we partner with the town, we begin to develop a contractor network that would specifically service the claims within your town. And we let you be as much or as little involved in that as you would like. Where some of our current partners will provide us a list of contractors that they are familiar with or already working with. If you require licensing, they'll give us the list of all of the licensed contractors. Some partners want to stay completely out of it. Any way really works for us. But with all of our contractors, we go through a detailed vetting process where we make sure that they are licensed, that they have the proper amount of insurance, they don't have any open complaints with the Better Business Bureau, as well as we conduct background checks and drug screenings. We always just really want to make sure that it's someone that one of your residents feel comfortable with coming to their home, as well as potentially inside of their home. As for our coverage, we do offer 3 completely separate and voluntary programs. We offer an external water line coverage, external sewer line coverage, as well as the in-home plumbing. Our 2 external products are set up very similarly, where we begin to cover those lines wherever they become the resident's responsibility, all the way to where they would daylight inside of the home. So if a resident were to have an issue, whether it was a broken, cracked, leaking pipe, a tree root issue, a clog that just needs cleared out, anything that impedes the flow of those lines, as well as we would cover the thawing of frozen external water lines. They just give us a call. We send out one of those local contractors, and what they receive for their coverage is actually up to $8,500 towards each and every repair incident. So this is something that actually greatly separates us from other companies out there, is that ours is always on a per incident basis. So we do not have an annual or a lifetime limit, as well as we would never limit the number of incidents or claims that someone can have in a calendar year. So again, it's always up to that $8,500 towards each incident, and we would never have any type of service fee or deductible. We do not want $50 or $100 service fee to deter someone from actually giving us a call and getting their issue taken care of. As for our third product, it kind of picks up where the other 2 leave off. This one was kind of developed by request of our current municipal partners, where it really was the missing piece of the puzzle. And this would cover any, the in-home plumbing, which is any water, sewer, or drain lines that are actually in the home after the point of entry. That either may be broken or leaking. It also would include any lines that could be embedded under a slab or a basement floor, and the coverage for the repair of clogged toilets. And this one is very similar, where there's never a service fee or deductible, no annual or lifetime limit, no limit on number of claims that someone can have in a calendar year. And for the in-home plumbing, it is always up to $3,000 towards each and every repair incident. And we really do notice that when someone chooses to enroll in any of these products, they typically are a little bit more proactive about actually getting their issue taken care of, because they know the cost of calling that plumber and figuring out what their issue is and getting it taken care of is not actually coming out of their own pocket. As for another feature of our program, it is actually the revenue portion for a town. So what a town does receive in return for their partnership with us is 50 cents per month per paid warranty contract. So essentially, if someone chose to enroll in all 3 products, the water, the sewer, as well as the in-home plumbing, then the town could receive up to $1.50 per month per household, and that is paid to you in the form of a revenue stream every January. A lot of our current partners choose to do different things with this. Obviously, you can do anything that you like. I would say most commonly, though, some of our partners use it to help low-income residents that may be having trouble paying a utility bill from month to month. Also, sometimes when a resident may have a leak and a large water loss, towns already try their best to kind of help offset those costs, so it can kind of go to that aspect of the budget. And I know even one uses it for their annual fall festival. So really, however you may like. The big thing everyone, though, always wants to know is how we market our programs. So we only ever market by direct mail. So you never have to worry about us calling door to door, anything like that. We standardly have 3 mail campaigns per year in the spring, the fall, and the winter. And the only reason why we have those 3 campaigns is because we do offer 3 products. Each of our letters is always geared towards one specific product at a time. And the reason why we do that is to limit any confusion. We always want your residents to be well aware that these are separate products, that they never have to choose any of them or any combination of them. So we always do keep the marketing to one product at a time, but that never deters anyone from giving us a call or going to our website and choosing whichever, if any, of the products that they would like at any time. Also, our program is only available through the partnership with the town, and we would never mail anything out to your residents unless we did have your review and approval prior. We always want you to be well aware of exactly what your residents are receiving, as well as have input on that message. So before each and every mail campaign, we send you a copy of that letter. Once we get the approval, we give you the exact mail date. That way you know exactly when those letters would be arriving at a resident's door. And if for some reason we do not get the approval, even if you've approved it 3 other times, we would never mail to your residents for that campaign. So you always have complete control over if and when those letters do go out. Our standard marketing letter, as I stated before, the beginning really is that educational piece, letting residents know that these lines are something that they are responsible for. And then it is an introductory letter where the town is introducing this voluntary program, but it clearly states we're a separate company providing this, as well as it's always voluntary for your residents. It does go out with the town's logo or a letterhead, and is either signed by an elected official, appointed official, or just the town as a whole introducing the program. But the bottom of that letter has all of our information, our logo, our phone number to call with any questions or to enroll. Same thing with our website, or they return the bottom of the form directly to us. So really the town's only involvement is the introductory piece, but once someone chooses to enroll, we handle all the aspects of the program. We know you have enough going on here. We don't need to add anything to your day. And then really once we partner with a town, we try to be as transparent as possible, where all of our municipal partners actually get access to an online partner portal. And this would give all of you here and any members of staff access to a lot of good real-time information, where you can log on there at any time and see the number of residents enrolled, the number of residents enrolled in each product, as well as the number of claims filed. It also lets you keep track of that accruing royalty throughout the calendar year. But what I find most important is it gives you access to our customer satisfaction surveys. So every resident within the town that files a claim receives a survey, and everyone that is returned, good, bad, or indifferent, is uploaded onto that portal. That way you can log on there, and it not only asks questions about our internal customer service in my call center or in my office when someone calls to file a claim, but also of that local contractor. Since they are the face of our company, we always are making sure that they're doing the work up to our standards as well as yours. And if there is any issue, we really can work to rectify that as quickly as possible. And to date, we are now partnered with over 400 municipalities all over the United States. And we do have 12 here in the state of Maryland. I'd say the closest, newest partner is Taneytown, and then Thurmont has been a partner for about a year. And I know I've rambled on for the, for the last 10 minutes or so, so I'm sure you all may have some specific questions as well for me.
Mr. Sweeney, I have a question for you.
What?
Have you run into this organization before?
No, but I like it. I like because I've known a lot of people in town who would have really used this program. They could have, didn't have the money to fix their sewer leaks, and we couldn't help them. It would help with maintaining our infrastructure greatly. I mean, I've seen is businesses are allowed to have this too?
It's for,
Just for
residential.
How about if you own a apartment building?
If it's like a duplex or a triplex, as long as it has a single service line, a lot of times it's an old home converted, they would be eligible as long as the property owner actually purchases the program.
We have a lot of homes, especially on Main Street, or maybe 1 or 2 or 3 apartments connected.
Yeah.
The, yeah, okay. Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission, that's about a couple million. That's all
Properties,
DC,
yeah.
Prince George's County, Montgomery County, and that's very interesting. How long have they been on?
WSSC has been a partner since July of last year, so a year.
Okay.
Is there a threshold number of number of people in town before you start, or you just go one by one, you're in?
So we do not have any type of minimum participation. So if one resident thought it was a good idea, we would service that one resident. That's why I always just think you're making a program available to that homeowner, and it's completely up to them if they would like to enroll. Because of our partnership with the town, it does allow us to offer or reach a higher amount of residents, which in turn allows us to offer greater coverage for the lowest monthly premium possible.
It's an older town, so we have some unique challenges. We may have two properties sharing, coming together into a lateral, running out to a street. How would you cover that? Have you ever run into that?
So is it, would it be two different owners that have a shared service line?
And one may join and one may not.
Okay. So standardly, we do not cover shared service lines, but if that is an issue, I know we've done it for a city in Michigan that they had pretty much everyone in their town was shared, so we were able to update our terms, to cover that if it was a large issue for the community.
Okay. Thank you.
So ultimately, it sounds as if you're an insurance organization. So I'm
Warranty,
wondering
correct.
who is the insurance company that bonds you guys? Like, who do you insure through?
So we are insured. We're just switching. We used to pay all of the claims ourselves,
Okay.
but we are bonded with the state to provide service. But we're switching to an insurance provider as of August
Okay, and do
1st.
you know who that is, or?
I could get that information
Sure,
for
that
you,
would be
but
helpful. I mean, if it's a sound company, then it would be easier
Yeah.
to recommend if it's, depending on their rating. So what would exclude somebody from participating? For example, the depth of the service line, or what, or the riders they would pay for example?
so it's available to anyone within the community. It doesn't matter length of line, age of line, depth of line. We offer, it's the same price for everyone within the community. The only thing that would really deter someone from enrolling is at the time of enrollment that their line wasn't working.
Okay.
But we do not go out and inspect the line, so it's really on the honor system when they call to enroll or fill out the form. It just says, is your line in proper working order? So
You had mentioned that you're a strategic partner with the Maryland Municipal League. What does that mean to be a strategic partner with them?
So, part of it is you get access to different benefits with the Maryland Municipal League. I know I work closely with Scott with a lot of things. When they look at strategic partners, they really try to find partners that could benefit their league.
Okay.
So they don't let just anyone become a strategic partner.
Do they get a sum from you guys in the same
Yes.
way that we would see some? Okay. What's their share? What do they get paid for?
So it's not depending on who signs up. I
Okay.
believe it's $10,000 per year. is
Okay, so
what-
it's a flat rate for access to the mailing list and the
Yeah.
endorsement. Okay. And what was the other piece? The 50-cent item, is that a negotiable fee, or is that a guaranteed flat fee, or how does that work?
So that is, we actually offer standard pricing and royalties for all of our communities that have 50,000 households and under. So that is standard. If the town did not want to receive that, we would just decrease the price of the program by 50 cents per month for the resident. And then that is something dependent on how many programs they're enrolled in month to month. It accrues throughout the calendar year, and it's paid to you by the end of January.
And is there any administrative fee to the town, or any reverse administrative fee that you pay to the town to contact you guys? Like, for example, if they are, they're inundated with a set of phone calls because of ruptured feed lines, and they're on the phone to you for 2 hours or something akin to that, is there any reimbursement there to town staff or for their time, or is it just,
There is not. We always want the town to refer anyone that calls them to us, which is why we provide you with a couple different tools. One is a press release that we always recommend issuing around that mail date. That way the residents just have another avenue to call us. And we can provide you information as well, a web page or a web banner to put on your website, because a lot of times they'll go to your website first, and then that way it has our phone number and our information so that they call us. And we'll give all the staff a frequently asked questions sheet. Not that we want them to answer questions, but most importantly, at the top, it has our phone number, so you can direct anyone to us.
and how old is your company? How old is this organization providing the service?
How long? So we have been in business for 13 years, but we've been endorsed by the National League of Cities since 2010. We're really strictly only working with municipalities.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess my question, local communities of Thurmont and Tawnytown. So if this came to Emmitsburg and we accepted this, obviously you have a list of vendors, plumbers, whatnot, that you approve, that you do the background checks, like you said. What if a local plumber was not on that list and they were interested in participating? What would they do? Contact you? Do you actively recruit, so to speak? Or?
Sure. So with each new partner, we do actively recruit. After we partner with the town, we actually have, it's called an onboarding phone call. And part of that is asking the town if they want to provide us a list of any contractors in the area. But if any time a contractor wants to become part of the network and they did not, you can always pass that information on to me and I can get in touch with our contractor team and they will reach out and begin the vetting process. And as long as they qualify, they can join the network as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Sweeney?
I think this will really benefit Emmitsburg because we have a lot of, it's a very low income. We have a lot of residents who don't have a lot of extra money to pay for the stuff, and if they have a repair, I know even me, I have my sewer and water all updated, been replaced since I lived in my house, and it costs a lot of money. I pay for that out of pocket myself, but a lot of people can't do that, and I think that would help them, the $8,500.
Can you go over the pricing?
Oh, yeah, sure. So our pricing for our external sewer line coverage is $7.75 per month. The external water line coverage is $5.75 per month. And then the in-home plumbing is $9.99 per month.
$23.50.
I think that's
$23.50.
Yeah.
Which is really good
yeah.
for insurance because I pay $450 for just life.
If you sign up and pay annually, a homeowner receives about a $5 per product discount. I always let everyone know that never locks anyone into a year agreement with us. No matter how someone chooses to pay, if they need to cancel for any reason at any time, they give us a call, go to our website, and we would refund any unused premium. So it's always month to month for a resident.
I think it will really benefit the town itself because it takes a lot of pressure off people. I don't take stress. You don't have to worry about this stuff. Oh, I have someplace going to help me fix it if I have a sewer and water problem. And we've had that through the years. So I imagine a lot of people will join in Emmitsburg. I know it.
And how? Sorry,
Go
was I
ahead.
jumping in?
Go ahead,
How
please.
would they pay? Would it be just a monthly invoice?
There's a lot of
Electronic.
options. We can bill them monthly. They can sign up for recurring payment. They can go to our website. They can call. Really, however they choose, but we handle all of that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's really great.
Is it a privately owned company or is it a publicly traded company?
So we are publicly traded on the London Stock Exchange. So our parent company is from London.
And who is that company?
HomeServe US, HomeServe.
HomeServe, okay.
We were a privately owned company up until July of last year. So
Can you get on the Irish Exchange? That would really.
What?
Can you get on the Irish Exchange?
Irish
What
Exchange.
do you think, Mr. O'Donnell?
I wouldn't mind to go to Ireland.
Would have been a nice IPO, I'm sure. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, good. Thank you. Are there any further questions from the board, Mr. Mayor, or staff?
Just
Mr.
one.
Mayor?
Is this something that Mr. Click ought to?
We actually, when we had the conference call, Mr. Fistel, your water and sewer superintendent, sat in and he had some specific questions and he was very satisfied with it as well. We believe this will help reduce staff time and staff costs when, because one of the things that she did mention is that they promote, if it's the homeowner's responsibility, they're to call them directly, and that will save staff from having to go out, and we do that quite frequently, find that it is the homeowner's responsibility to fix their line. And it's a difficult thing sometimes to break the news that, hey, you've got this repair, it's not ours.
Right.
There's nothing that we can do. And that'll take a lot of pressure off of staff as well.
Okay. Great. Anybody else? No? Very good, Mr. Mayor. No other?
That's very good. Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate your presentation.
Oh, no problem. Thank you all for having me, and all of my information's in there if anyone has any additional questions.
Are you a Ravens fan? Or no?
No.
He's from
For the
Pittsburgh.
record, interesting. All right.
Thank you.
I'm a Steeler fan.
Good to be loyal to your hometown. Okay, we.
Pirate fan.
There you go.
Buckos, there you go. Okay, we now turn to agenda item number 2, the LG Sonic Algae Control System update, and we turn to staff.
So are we gonna table this? What are we gonna do
Let's
with her
do it.
presentation?
Oh,
Are we gonna accept the program? Do you wanna table it to August? Do you need further discussion? Staff needs a direction.
oh, I see. Very good. Related to the first agenda item,
Yes.
Mr. Blanchard stepped away too.
what Mr. Blanchard did step off the floor. Well, we still have a quorum, but I would propose to the board at this time that we give this consideration and we take time to review the information that was presented. I think it would be hasty on our part and maybe even impulsive if we were to act tonight. Personally, I would really like to dig in and see what we can find out about the company and about the other municipalities who use it and their
Right.
experience. I'm sure it will be positive, but one wants to be sure and that we're basically staking our reputation as an entity of leadership, tying it to a commercial entity, and that might not be in our best interest, or it might be. I mean, it is important, and I agree with you wholeheartedly that this is a valuable service, but let's make sure that it is a well-taken-care of service, a well-provided service.
Right, I have
That
a
makes sense.
question.
Yes, sir.
Oh, staff.
Okay.
Did you get the uplink to the algae control? Is that done? You know, the satellite. You couldn't.
Oh, I was gonna talk about that on agenda item 2.
We're still on, we're talking one.
Oh,
Sorry,
I'm
I'm sorry. We're talking about the insurance program for the water
I'm
lines.
sorry. I thought we skipped. I'm sorry.
So I'll back up. So what my suggestion is that we look into this and we come back to our August meeting with this as an agenda item?
Okay.
Are you comfortable with
I'm
that?
fine. Yes.
Mr. Ritz?
Yes.
Okay, so a straw poll, Mr. Blanchard stepped off the floor, I'm not sure about his return time. So I would say, do you want a board vote to give you direction, or are you okay with the straw poll to say that we would make this an agenda item for our next meeting?
That's fine.
Straw poll suffices,
Yes.
very good, okay, great, thank you. All right, so.
Would you need her to return?
Yes.
I think that would be advisable. If you could return, should there be any questions, I think that would be good. And if we have any questions in the meantime, let's burden ourselves by getting it to staff to bring it to the vendor, if that's okay. Mr. Sweeney, you're good there?
That's fine.
Okay, all right. Okay. So, we now move to our second agenda item. Is that okay? Staff, we're okay?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right. So we now turn to the LG Sonic Algae Control System update, and here we go. Update.
So as requested by the board, Mr. Fissel and predominantly Ms. Shaw put together this presentation.